How's it going, everyone? How's it going? This is Deonte Burden, and welcome to Changing Lives. Happy Thursday. We got a great show planned for you this week. I'm glad you guys tuned in. Today, we'll be talking about how adults need to be communicating. You know, just give different methods on how adults should be communicating and interacting with each other, and give a couple of keys to effective communication with individuals, and also some key effective communication suggestions as far as people dealing in groups. So I think it's much needed, passed over damn due.
That's right.
And I think it'll be some good information to everybody. Recap this past week of mine. Well, everybody, let's give a big toast out to government shutdown being back over.
That's right.
Man, shit. I got 2 damn rental houses with government workers.
Really?
Shit, man. Because you know nobody pay rent in December because of Christmas.
Because Christmas, yeah.
And they want to get it caught up in January.
Right.
So that's all boogered up. You know what I'm saying? So
now it's going to be March, April before you get caught up.
But everything should be released. So I've been told by, before the middle of February. So, shouts out to the government for finally getting that stuff worked out.
Yes.
We got a couple weeks, hopefully they don't booger that back up and everything. So I'm excited about that. The other thing I want to talk about, the great ice storm in Atlanta.
Boy, did you make a snowman?
Man, what you talking about? Shit, I want them kids to get the hell out of my damn house so bad. They got my ass, boy.
They got us all.
I tell you, like, I'm talking about the weatherman. My God, man.
They messed that up.
Bro, no. How in the hell you have a job that you can just be wrong all the damn time? And when he be giving it like, hey, I'm telling you, bundle up. You guys need to be very careful. Yeah. And I'm talking about you come out the sun damn island. What the fuck is going on? And they don't never come back and say sorry. Shit. They ain't gonna never. No, I'm talking about they done shut the whole. I mean, all the damn local governments and all the offices closed down.
Closed.
It's just what this damn fool done said. So shout out to the weatherman for messing up the damn ice storm. But you know what happened, man? Damn, come Super Bowl weekend, man. This shit be like the damn Antarctica and shit. Just our damn luck and everything. And also, we all know this is Super Bowl week. On my way out here, I got caught in some of that damn Super Bowl traffic right on 75 where it connect with 20. And man, shit, boy, it's going to be something else out here. It's going to be
terrible.
Yeah, I got a couple of my army buddies, my roommate, they coming down and stuff. Kick it, they going to crash with me and everything. It's going to be a good time and everything. Yeah. Also, when I'm thinking about it, I want to give my condolences out. Well, my good friend Marcus King, he passed about 6 years ago. His ex-wife, Sean, she passed today.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what happened. I just seen it on Facebook, so I want to give my condolences out to Sean's family and Lil Mar. Lil Mar just graduated high school last year. Real good friends of mine. We all grew up together in Germany. That was my first duty station, and I remember the high school sweethearts, and I don't know what happened and stuff, but my deepest condolences go out to their family.
Wow.
And everything. Again, I'm Deonte Burden. Also, one more thing. We knee deep in tax season, everybody. Shit, so I'm telling you, I'm taking them how they come and everything, putting in long hours at the office. So again, I am the owner of Majestic Business Services. We are one-stop shop small businesses. Tax season is upon us. So make sure you go to the website, www.majesticbiz.com. Go to the calendar, book an appointment. Running all day, every day. Book your appointment. 17 years in business, 20 years in financial service industry. Hey, we got you covered with that and everything. So make sure you go to the website and book an appointment for this tax season. Today's show, like I said, we're going to talk about communication with adults, and it's a very sensitive subject with me because on my promos, one thing I probably want to go back and kind of correct with one thing. I was saying a lot of black men have issues with communications. I want to say a lot of black people. Okay. Yeah. Because I'd be damned if I'm going to exclude the women out of that one. But do other people, other races have communication issues? Absolutely. But everyone know what my heart is with my people. So I want to make sure I'm not criticizing. I'm actually giving active solutions to everyone on things that we can work on, give strategies to fix it, so we can move forward with that.
Do me a favor. Move that phone, because it's right in your face on on YouTube. I'm sorry.
Move it which way?
This way.
All
Over
right.
to your.
A little bit more.
Oh yeah. I just wanted out your face
Okay.
while you talking.
Good to go.
A little bit more.
A little bit more. That's the first damn time something blocked my big head out the way. Shit.
That's a little better.
That's a little better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just didn't want them to. I want them to be able to see who they talk to.
Okay, cool,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
Good to go right
yeah,
there?
we good. Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry
Appreciate
about
that.
Everybody on YouTube.
No, I appreciate that and everything. I said my big skull coming up. That's cool. Well, we're going back to our subject in regards to communication. I get invited to, because I am smart. That's what I've been told. I get invited to a lot of group meetings and focus groups and stuff like that because people want to, get different expertise in terms of just business, accounting, taxes, mentorship, and all that kind of stuff. So I've been lucky to get invited to a lot of different forums to meet with other guys or other people in general to, get my ideas and also listen to other people's ideas and also form a lot of plans. And what has happened a lot when I get in these forums, we have those meetings and people have all kind of different views. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when you have a lot of smart people, I will say smart people are smart, but there's not really a big precedent on common sense. So you got a lot of people that knows a lot about certain subjects in certain areas, but they don't necessarily know how to interact with people.
Okay.
And when you get people like that in a room together, a lot of times everybody going there looking at, well, I know what the hell I'm talking about, and this is where we at with everything. And the problem of that, those groups are brought together because of their expertise, and also the knowledge that they can bring, and hopefully these people can do use team building skills to actually come to a good agreement on what the plan is to get that solved, and that shit just get totally lost. And it's been too many times I've been in these kind of forums where people get in there, they state where their mind is and their opinion. They don't even want to hear what other people got to say, and you got 10 people, hell, sometimes a smaller group of 5 people, everybody voicing their opinion, and they're fighting to do that because nobody listening. So you got really just a lot of noise and stuff going on, and you've lost damn near half a day, got really no kind of solutions because you never able to write anything down, and you still at square one. And it's happened a lot. It's happened a lot with dealing with a lot of youth organizations, community organizations. God knows I don't want to bring in these damn churches. When you get in there, like, man, because, you get, a room full of pastors. Again, we sit here and say, well, hey, we want to start with the churches and bring the church with the community. But you got, pastors are alpha males. And I was speaking with you about this earlier, man. A lot of them base their expertise on the size of their congregation. True. So if you sitting in this forum and pastor got a congregation of 5,000 and you got a congregation of 200, regardless if you're the expert on the subject, he ain't hearing what you got to say. And you just got to listen. You sitting all damn day long, just these egos, and not a damn thing accomplished. And we're not in a situation where we can be doing all this damn bickering and shit.
Yeah,
and
can't be ego driven.
Yeah. Well, what people lose sight of too much is the common goal. And that's really what I want to focus on today. So we talk about these communication skills, understanding that it's great that you got your point, but be very mindful that the other person got a point too. And we have to be able to listen to each other's point, and it doesn't mean you have to agree with that person saying, but I want people to also kind of get different skills in terms of when they get information, what to do with it, how to deliver information, and also be respectful on everybody's different viewpoints. And like I said, again, remember the common goal so you can move forward with everything. Because again, we're not in a situation, and I'm talking about mainly the black community, where we can be, blowing off ideas or be stuck on, hey, my way is the best way. So what I want to start off, I have a few keys to effective communication. Now, I want to start this off by saying that the views of Deonte Burden, but these keys right here that I'm going to give you as far as communicating, I do think if you actively practice these strategies I give you, you'll get a lot more out of a lot of interactions you have out of people. So again, first we're gonna start off with uh, uh, some of the suggestions I have dealing with it on an individual basis, and then we're gonna move on to dealing with the ones on a group basis. Again, this is Deonte Burden, and our show here is Changing Lives. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe on the channel. I think I got probably almost 40 videos up now between the shows and those 1 or 2 minute videos. And like I tell everybody, when you're looking at the videos, got that blue man in the bottom right corner. Hit on that, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the bell for the notifications and stuff. I got a lot of good information out. We've been working real hard on the show, so please make sure you like, share, subscribe to the show. Tell all your friends and everybody. You ain't got to like what I'm talking about. I just want everybody to start thinking and communicating about some of the information that we're putting out there, because we've been working real hard about it, and I really do think the information we're putting out here is really needed by everyone.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. I appreciate that. Okay, now, from an individual perspective in dealing with communication, the first suggestion I want to give everybody is, number one, focus on the conversation. Okay, I think if you go into a situation where you know that, hey, our plan is to get this youth group started or get this program off the ground. We're trying to implement a game plan for a strategy. Whatever your thing that you guys want to get started, everyone needs to make sure they understand exactly what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. All the other fluff that has nothing to do with it, let's leave that at the door. Mm-hmm. Just keep in mind what the common goal is, what we're going to go talk about, okay? Any other agendas when you go into meetings or even just having a conversation with someone about something, kind of keep that out of it. Mm-hmm. Because far too often people have conversation with people about a certain subject and stuff get pulled in. You're like, what the hell are you talking about? That's not even what the subject was and everything. And people don't realize, just like children, a lot of damn adults got short attention spans. Mm-hmm. And
I'm guilty.
Well, and it's not a bad thing. We tend to kind of lock on to what we interested in. So if I give a viewpoint that really don't interest you, you're not, really familiar with it. I can't really. If my delivery isn't strong, you might not be as intentionally unreceptive to it. It just might bore the hell out you. Yeah. So you just sitting there like, okay, I'm just listening until he shut the hell up, so I get to my turn. Right. But we got to make sure that we're focused on what the conversation is about. Keep that goal in mind, the overall theme of what you're meeting about or what you're having that conversation about. Now this is for the person that's actually, the receiver of it. Even if you're back and forth, make sure you practice active listening. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by practice active listening is when you're taking this information in, you're actually comprehending and processing it. You're not necessarily just hearing the words on the surface. You're interpreting it and making sure that, hey, I'm not missing everything. Sometimes, when you're talking, one verb, adverb, or pronoun can kind of mean that, change the whole definition of the whole sentence, or the whole meaning, rather, of that whole sentence. So you have to make sure you have active listening. You're again, keeping in mind what the subject is, but you're paying attention to what this person is saying. Because again, not only do you want to make sure you get the whole message, but it's also respectful. But just make sure you're doing that.
Do you think it's the one of the problems you may have it on the list is that we listen to respond and not listen to understand? That may be a problem. Most of us listen to respond. We're waiting to jump in there to give our rebuttal to what the statement is being made or what question is being asked. We're not really listening in general to what is actually the conversation is about. We're listening to respond to whatever is being talked about. Do you think that might be an issue as well?
Absolutely. And this probably goes to the next point, but lab be like a little dang genie. Oh, wait, one step ahead of me.
Sorry.
No. That's a good question. When you're having a conversation with somebody, you want to make sure that there's clarity, when you're listening. And you want to make sure that the person that's speaking, you make sure they understand, what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Okay, now what I mean by clarity and listening, if you're talking to me and you start using certain lingo or words in it and stuff like that, people nod. And you ever see, sometimes people give speeches or talking to somebody and they kind of will explain something, but the audience really don't understand. Mm-hmm. And usually sometimes the speaker can kind of look at everybody's faces, because I know typically when I give speeches or when I teach and talk to people, I'm always asking, did that make sense? Do y'all understand? And with the kids I coach, one of the things that I always ask them, and it kind of forces them to understand, well, what did I say? What did I mean?
Right.
So now you can't sit here and lie to me. So as the receiver, you have to make sure you get clarity. When you have these communication, like, hey, Deonte, what do you mean by that? What Deonte explain? Because again, we're still trying to make that common goal. We want to make sure that we understand what the hell this damn person is talking about. So you want to make sure that you're always asking for clarity. If they're talking too fast, they're too technical and everything. I don't need you speaking accounting. I need you speaking English. You talk to your mechanic. He come to you, say the thermostat, the thermostat kicking out this and doing that, and the computer reading this, that, and that, and you sitting there like, your next damn question was, shit, how much that cost? But you really want to know what the hell that means. And a lot of times what happens, the mechanic ain't damn stupid. They do that just, they intentionally want to confuse you so they don't have to explain what it is. Because you sit on like, shit, if you just got to turn that damn boat, hell no, you ain't charge me $300 for that.
Right.
But when you sit here and say this, that, and that, you're like, damn, man, they got to do damn surgery on my car.
Right.
So you're kind of crippled with that. So that's why I say just part of that. Hey, listen, explain that to me and everything and stuff, and that way you're not leaving the conversation or anything where you're kind of lost. And that happens far too often with it, because you want to make sure you're getting the most out of this conversation. If it's a long interaction or a short interaction, we always want to make sure we got clarity in our understanding when we're the receiver of it.
Right.
The other side of it, if you're the one that's giving that message, again, we're talking about communicating, you have to make sure that person understands what the hell you're talking about. You do not want your message to get lost in the sauce. You do not want your message to be misinterpreted. Now, again, you do have people, they just going to be, man, I don't want to hear this shit.
Right.
And they're just going to already come into, the conversation like this, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
There's nothing you can do about it. You can't, no matter how nice, smooth your delivery going to be, they're just not going to be receptive to it. But for the people that that are really trying to genuinely receive your information, you got to make sure that you're giving it to them in a way that they can get it and process it. I always say the biggest thing that helped me over the years as far as communicating was being a football coach, because being able to have a message that makes sense and being able to get it to children, that helped me out a lot, because a lot of times you hear a lot of guys with the coaches, and the kids never get it. You just probably got one or two good athletes that kind of make it seem like, oh, he's a good coach. He know what he's doing. No. The greatest coaches and greatest communicators are the people that have a message and know how to deliver their message across the boards, no matter what the setting is. If you're dealing with kids, you're dealing with adults, you're dealing with subject matter experts, scholars, anybody.
Right.
Those are your best communicators, because, again, you understand that no matter who the audience is, they still got to get the message. And it's on the burden is on you to be able to deliver it, to them in a way that they can receive it. So I always say, as part of that, when you're delivering, you need to make sure that the person that you're speaking to really understands
what it is you're saying.
Yeah, what you're saying. So that's one of the things I suggest to a lot of people, just to make sure that you're getting that you're receiving it. The next thing, with the piece on communicating, I want people to make sure they be specific, not vague, and and what I mean by that, when you want to make sure that you're not giving 4 ounces with one piece. If you're talking about cars and you want to give certain descriptions, you don't want to just say I'm talking about a photo. I'm not talking about Chevys. I'm talking about a Camaro.
Right.
And a lot of times people, they don't necessarily, they stay vague with stuff like that, and they don't know how to make stuff specific. And so what happens is a person is kind of getting your message, but they don't understand. And when you're trying to put that delivery there, people get lost in terms of looking at the general and not knowing the specific. So you go back like, hey man, so did you understand what I was talking about? You know, the reports we need, because I need those. You know, in regards to the finances, or you know, you're at church. Hey, listen, these for the youth choir needed that. Well, I thought you were talking about everybody sing. Everybody, you know,
Right.
you just say, you know, the choirs and all that. Not just talking about the youth choirs. You got to be very specific in regards to who you're talking about. You know, and one thing I learned in grad school, and I think that's helped me out a lot, was being able to say the most with the least.
Right.
You ever got like a letter, parents, you get them letters from your kids' school, and they go through all this shit. You know, the educators, they something else.
Right.
And they give you this big ass paragraph that the same shit could have been said with one damn
word.
sentence.
One sentence or one.
Shit.
Yeah.
The hell you didn't just say that?
Let's get to that.
Yeah, and that happens far too often.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, because you don't have the people aren't necessarily versed with those communication skills on how to condense stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, you know, when they're trying to relay information, you know, people kind of just were like, what the hell? Why you need all that? And you lose your audience. You lose a lot of your message and everything, because you legitimately have different things you want to talk about, but like, why you say all that shit? You know, and everything. You know, you can just say, you know, I don't want to get to talk too damn much and get and people forgetting, but just say the most with the least. And that's one of the biggest things that in far communication in grad school, I remember, you know, those professors will go through stuff like, shit, that's too much. I don't have time to read this.
Right.
And that is how business goes. You know, you're in business, you really don't have time to read. You just need to sit here and get the message in one or two sentences and be able to keep it moving.
That's why they tell you when you send your resume out, they'll make it one page.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, so get as much as you can as far as your experience in school and all that in that one page.
There you
Don't
go.
send 2 and 3 page resumes, because they're not gonna read all that. They don't have time to.
And to be honest with you, and to that point, from a technical standpoint, they really don't want to know all this shit.
Yeah. They want to know if you could do this job right here.
There you go. Everybody need to damn know you typed a report on every damn job you did. Now, with that said, with all that communicating, we're talking about with the giving and receiving side. Now you got to proceed with an open mind. And what I mean by proceed with an open mind, now you're looking at it in terms of, this person has been talking to me. This person been listening to me. We've been doing this back and forth. We've been talking and everything. I got to sit here and say that, okay, my way is my way, their way is their way. Let me kind of feel if it's some angles in that can kind of work for me. So you got to be receptive to something different than what you already think. And I think that's very, very hard for people to do. Yeah. You know, my way is the best way, and the way you want to do it is just that. Yeah. And I think when people practice that, going forward with an open mind, now you start getting some shit accomplished. Yeah. Cause that's what I was talking about, just being in a lot of these focus groups. Everybody go in there, well, shit, I'm an expert in this. You see it, man. You go in there and everybody introducing themselves. I did 10 years here, I did 15 years there, and they just talking, and the shit be like, wow, man. You know, I be like, damn, that's pretty impressive. You know, right. I mean, with some smart dudes. Shit, man, them damn dummies. Like I say, smart, ain't nobody got no damn common sense.
Right.
So everybody's stuck on, nah, we'll do it this way. Like, well, hold on, man. Let that person talk. Let them get what they got to say. And on the surface, it may seem difficult, but if we have an open mind to it,
they can figure it out.
Yeah. What number one thing is not that it's harder or it's bad. We just know what is different. Mm-hmm. So let's just let the person talk, proceed with an open mind, and then we see how that goes. Mm-hmm. You know. And lastly, our last thing is the first thing. Make sure you keep the goal or that common target in mind. That's the main thing about it. When you're processing this information, you're looking at it and saying, okay, it's different when I think about it, I'm listening at it, but how does it apply to the goal at hand? Mm-hmm. How does it apply to the task at hand? How does what I think apply to the goal at hand? Because again, we can have a method or a way we like doing things, but in the grand scheme of things, if it doesn't work or apply, you know, to this particular task, hey man, let me listen to this brother. This sister might got a good point. She might be on to something
Right.
and everything. So let me stop, before I get in all this shit.
Before I give them that.
Yeah, let me think. So I always again like rule number one, keep the common goal, that in mind. I think that'll help. A lot of times we have these individual conversations where people aren't bumping heads and just kind of against each other. They'll be able to kind of, realistically look at, get a lot more stuff accomplished. You brought up, man, egos and narrow-mindedness hurts a lot of stuff. And we just seen that with the government shutdown, where we have some of our best and brightest. Hey, Tequila, how you doing? We have some of our best and brightest in Congress that's supposed to be master negotiators. Shit, they acting like damn 4-year-olds.
Right.
And in the process of doing that, the damn country done shut down. So that's one thing I really want everybody to pull from that, is make sure when we doing those, having those kind of communications and stuff like that, understand that your way ain't the best way. That man ain't crazy as hell. That woman, she don't listen. Everybody just, remember the goal. Remember the goal. Again, this is Deonte Burden. It's our show, Changing Lives. We're streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, iHeartRadio, Live 365, Apple Radio, all the above. Make sure you go to the station, like, share, and subscribe to the station. Also, remember, this is tax season. I'm the owner of Majestic Business Services. Please go to the website, www.majesticbiz.com. We're one-stop shop, small businesses, bookkeeping, tax prep, and of course, bookkeeping, payroll, and of course, tax prep, booking appointment. We do tax preparation. We also do booking for consulting. We're at the beginning of the year. I know when you get even if you don't come to us for tax prep and you get that refund, I know y'all want to start a business up and everything. Book an appointment for consulting. We will lock you in. Make sure we hold your hand for the whole process, from the idea getting started to getting incorporated, getting your business license, getting your business accounts, forecasting, getting all the above done to make sure you're an instant millionaire this time next year. So 18 years in the game. Yes, sir. I'm the man to call. And again, and I'm not just saying that lightly. I think a lot of time I get called to do a lot of damage control because people didn't come to me on the front end. Doesn't matter if you come from the beginning or come to the middle or the end. We'll still take care of you. But I really, really want to put an emphasis on, if you have that idea, you want to start a business, before you spend a penny or anything, come see me. Come see me. I'm pretty good at what I do. And I do have a very deep passion on everybody being successful and doing stuff the right way. So what I don't want to have happen is you put a lot of time and money on the wrong way of doing it, because, again, we get money in our hand. We'll think we're very smart. And, I can do it. I know what to do because I seen, this other guy do it. And we didn't realize he didn't know what the hell he was doing. He just didn't have, he had too much pride to tell you he effed up his money too. And he found that out afterwards and everything. So those one of the things. So please make sure you go to our website, majesticbiz.com, book an appointment. We'll take care of you. That's 678-479-4007. Okay. The next section of this, what I want to talk about is how communication methods in terms of, when you're dealing with a group. Okay. Now, we just talked about things from an individual standpoint that you could be doing, and some great strategies there. So now we done got together with some, all these experts.
Like-minded people.
Oh, shit, man. Shit, boy.
And not like a room full of experts.
Hey, well, I was in one today. You know what, though? It went pretty cool. I was in one today. It went pretty cool. Probably because they didn't let everybody talk. They didn't let you introduce yourself and sit your ass down. So, but yeah, well, shit, I've been in there, man, staying all damn, they don't get shit accomplished. You know what I'm saying? You hear a lot of damn bios, but you don't get a damn thing accomplished, man. You saying all these smart ass dummies. That's all you know. Shit, man. Oh boy, and everything. There be a room full of us too. There be a room full of us. Oh man, I walk and I see them damn bow ties and shit. I say, God damn it, boy, we ain't finna do shit done today. But it's cool. But I do think, again, just kind of we did from the individual standpoint, these group methods will help everyone out a whole lot. Just with being very productive. Any kind of goal that you might want to have within a group. Number one. Just like with doing the communicating with an individual, remember, focus on the goal, focus on the task. That's the thing. Everybody have to go into it and kind of reiterating it, as you're going through it. Hey, listen, this is what the hell we're working on. We don't want to get too much in tasks. Kind of like, you've been on board meetings and everything.
Will Murray on YouTube say you right about that group. It'd be a group of us.
I appreciate that, Coach. But that's one of the things, just when you get together, I think that's one you have to actively, during the whole process of dealing with a group, is be reminding everybody this is the goal. A lot of things may work in certain settings, but for the specific tasks that you're trying to accomplish, you have to keep kind of reminding people that it's not the people just dumb, but it's easy to get off target, especially when you got people that are smart and passionate. Shit can go all kind of ways, so you need that kind of moderation to kind of keep everybody in due bounds. Hey, look, this is what's going on.
Do you think a group setting is a little bit more difficult as far as communicating? Do you think communicating in the group setting is more difficult than an individual setting, or do you think they're probably the same as far as? I guess a group setting would be more difficult, right? I
don't think difficult is the word if you got the parameters in place.
Okay.
It's just kind of like, you go to those forums and they have like so you got the people on the stage and stuff like that. It's all about moderation. Okay. Somebody has to be designated to, the shut the hell up person. Okay. Or your turn. Because again, people may just get, some folks, and we'll get to that, kind of with these ideas. Everybody got different temperaments, and some folks can kind of be more dominant than others, but the person that's less dominant is more reserved, but they're smarter. Mm-hmm. So it's all about moderation. Okay. So if you have to go into it having that judge in place to kind of like, okay, look, man, your job is to be the damn sheriff. Mm-hmm. 30 seconds at a time, 1 minute at a time, however y'all want to police it up. You got to have that kind of stuff in place. So it's critical, have that structure in place when you're dealing with a group. Okay. Those kind of things have to be already designated before you start, because on the surface, you say, hey, we're dealing with adults. We all better respect each other, but that shit sound good. Because, stuff happens unintentionally. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing we want to make sure that you have those kind of structures set up, those parameters, how long we're going to talk, no crossing over each other, no ridiculing or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Have that stuff set up in front. And also kind of, bring that shit up every now and then, because, you're going to have them one or two people that's going to test the system. Mm. You know what I'm saying? You might have popped them on the hand or just putting the hell out, of the group and everything like that. But right. Those are the mechanisms you got to have for that. Again, this is Deonte Burton, and the show is Changing Lives. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We got a lot of good information on the channel. I think this is our 9th or 10th episode for the show.
I think it's 10th.
10th episode. How about that? My 10th anniversary. How about that? Brother been grinding since November. Right. And probably got about, I think, man, almost close 40 videos, about over 20. Those 1 and 2 minute videos. A lot of good information, guys. So please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Tell all your friends about it. Been working real hard on it and everything. Okay, the next thing we're dealing with a group setting. I was just kind of alluding to it earlier. When you get in that group, when we're talking about communicating, trying to get this goal together, we want to assess our group. Okay, when I say assess our group, we want to kind of be, introducing everybody, kind of getting a feel for, okay, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses? The people, you already done some stuff already prior to meeting, but once you get in there, kind of get a feel for them, okay, you're a subject at this, with that, you're not really familiar with that. You have so many years of experience with this and everything, with that right there, is a little new to you and everything. Kind of assess their strengths and weaknesses. And while you're doing that, 1 or 2 people, probably your moderator and who's ever in charge of everything, because your moderator might not necessarily be in charge. They might just be legislating everything. Kind of actively looking at the group to see who's aggressive, who's reserved. Mm-hmm. Because, again, that go back to what I was just saying. The person that's most reserved can be your expert. Mm-hmm. But by nature, they're not a talkative person. I don't say they get punked, but they just sitting there just quiet the whole time. But that's your damn dictionary right there. Yeah. And it happens too often in a group setting where you got some people that impose themselves on the group. The person that has the most information is just sitting back there quiet. They can just be uncomfortable in the group. They can be uncomfortable around other people or just don't like talking. Mm-hmm. So you got to find a way when you do those assessments to kind of, look at their temperaments and know, because you might got to pull them. Your moderator might got to put them on a spot and ask them a question. And when you ask them here, they might be talking about 15, 20 minutes. You know, they just got that opportunity. So that kind of stuff, and there's a little psychology to that, you know, to kind of make sure we kind of looking at it, you know, doing those assessments and those observations on people's strengths and weaknesses and also those temperaments. The next thing is kind of like setting up group roles, and mainly we going to keep this in respect to the goal or task at hand. Okay. You know, you might say, well, you know, this person is your investigator. This person is probably going to be your typist. This person going to be your presenter. All that kind of stuff. You know, you 2 or 3 people, why don't you guys figure this out and everything. So part of that, you know, you're laying out those roles and everybody's, I don't want to do it, this, that, and that, this, that, and that. So you get everybody, you know, get through those attitudes, and now we're sitting here doing it. The way I'm explaining to do this in a group setting, as far as communicating, I want it to be as structured as possible. You can have, like, you know, have your focus groups where everybody just free fall. What I mean by free fall, everybody just talking, giving our ideas and writing it down. But when we're trying to get something accomplished, you know, I have a military background, so I'm very, very structured. You know, I don't try to constrain people, but, you know, you do need structure and organization. So that's why, you know, the way I'm giving this, it may seem like it's kind of, you know, rigid and restricted, but I do think it's the best way possible, because far too often you do have these problems because you don't have organization and everything, just like a lot of stuff in life.
That will help keep the group from getting off task, and also from getting out of hand, where everybody's talking about everything but what y'all came there for.
Exactly. Shit, you know, it's easy to get off. They be talking about what's that City Girls twerk video and all that shit. That throw any damn meeting off, don't it? Shit.
Conversation took a wrong turn.
Like,
we come here to talk about how to build a building.
Nah, did y'all see Cardi B? You know, the next thing you know, you talking about the leopard and all that shit, and it done went left and everything. Me know. 2 hours in. There you go. You know, so we don't want that to happen. All right, so. Again, we keep, you know, that's the way I'm presenting it, with a lot of organization and structure. But I do think once you have those roles and have that system in place, you'll be able to get the most out of it, instead of everybody just kind of running out of order. The next thing is you want to create an environment where you're holding everybody accountable. And what I'm saying is that you kind of look at everybody and kind of put an emphasis like, shit, you're going to do something. You're going to do this. This is what I'm doing this. And everybody holding each other accountable. These are my expectations, or this is our expectation as a group. Everybody got to pull their own damn weight. We're here for a reason. We need to get this accomplished. You're going to take care of this. You're going to take care of this. And it's like a culture of everybody being accountable. So if you're lazy, get the hell on, because this is what we're trying to do. Then everybody looking at each other like, okay, I got to do this. I got to do this. So you want that to be kind of ingrained in everyone. No laziness or anything like that. This is what we're trying to accomplish, and look, we're going to hold your ass accountable for it. So if you can't do this, you know, you need to get the hell on.
Right. So
that's why I say make that kind of part of your culture, that everybody's going to be accountable to the goal at hand or the task. Similar with dealing with, you know, everything with on an individual basis, we want to make sure we're being open-minded. Because you're finna get stuff that you ain't even damn thought of and everything. Because the beauty of it is when you have a lot of people from different views, not necessarily even just a lot of smart people, the beauty of it is that you're getting different ideas. Because you got a lot of shit in your mind, and we all think that we're great and we're smart.
I was just about to say, and everybody thinks their idea is the best idea.
Exactly. But you don't realize how many times or how many angles from something you just don't even, like, damn, man, I wouldn't even think about that. And the shit happens all the time and stuff like that. So that's the beauty of having groups. And that's why we want to make sure we keep it in order, so it doesn't stuff don't kind of go out of bounds, but that's the beauty of it, and you want to take advantage of this and everything. Because that was one of the things I made the video about adults communicating. You have people, all these great minds in a group, and a lot of times folks just like, man, I don't hear that shit, this, that, and that, and the respect factor is lost, and the goal isn't met. But you're like, man, that guy or that young lady is brilliant. And because folks not receptive to it, they don't have an open mind to listening to it, because I may say, hey, we're working on getting building this building, and you've been in construction for years. Like, man, well, typically we build everything in concrete. And I said, well, man, I think we need to do something in glass. I don't want to hear that shit. We do it in concrete, this, that, and that. Yeah. And I'm stuck on that. But you can get, you know, when I bring up the part about the glass, I can give you a whole layout why we should do that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're so stuck on the surface, hell no, we want to do that shit, man. No, we won't do it like that. You'll never get it.
Right.
It can be more cost effective. It can be more safe. It can be more durable. All kind of things. But unless you open your ears and your mind up, ain't gonna do nothing.
Right.
Ain't gonna do nothing. That's one thing we got to make sure we stay open minded. And the more adults do that, I think you'll be further along with a lot of stuff in life and everything. Because again, your ideas are great, but your ideas are not the only ideas in the world.
Yeah, your ideas there's more than one way to approach a problem.
Mm-hmm.
There's several ways to approach a problem. There's several ways to solve a problem. If your mind is not open to solving the problem any way that you can, it won't get solved.
Absolutely.
That's what I was always told when I was in I forget, I was in philosophy class, and it was philosophy, and the guy said, well, you have to have an open mind and be able to understand without understanding. You have to be able to understand what it is that you are talking about, but also be able to understand that the person that you're talking to understands it and you don't, but you have to present it as if you understand it. You can't necessarily go into things and not have an open mind to it. You have to present it to you. He's presenting it to you, and you have to take it as if you already knew what he was talking about. And you might not have any idea what he was talking about, but that's how you keep your mind open to, oh, yeah, I get it. I understand that. That's how we going to do that, like with the glass and the concrete.
Absolutely.
You may have been saying glass, but you might have been saying, well, we're going to do it with glass, but we're going to put a concrete rim around it.
Gotcha. Absolutely. And you know something, man, like you, I don't know what the hell you got that damn Gina hat on. That kind of going to the next point. When you are in these groups, and it's kind of like what we're talking about on an individual basis, we got to make sure everybody understand each other's viewpoint. And we need to make sure that we make an emphasis on, hold on, pumping the brakes. Like, hey, man, look, do y'all get this shit? Do y'all get it? And then from that point, like, once we are comfortable, the group is comfortable, hey, they got it, give it a try. Be open to giving it a try. Excuse me. It may not be the ideal option for you, but give it a try. See how it is. But also, what's very important, what we say from the beginning, keep the goal, keep the task in mind, what we're working on. Give it a try. Because that may be the best for that particular task. Not necessarily the best traditionally what you normally do, but for that particular task, that might be the best way to do it, and give it a try. Once you give it a try, you can see how everything goes. Make your assessment. From that point, hey, I liked it, I didn't like it, this is why. One thing about it when we dealing with groups, and we, especially even as adults, when we communicate, and I even push this with my kids, my children and kids are coached, but I really want young people to be thinking and communicating. Explain why. Don't just say, I don't like it.
That's always how it goes.
But you see too many adults even do that. Why you don't like it? I just don't. That, and you can't expect people to take you seriously in life, especially from a business or even an interacting standpoint, if you're giving emotional damn answers. I don't like it. It's cold. This, that, and that. Be able to articulate a reason why. And everything, okay, cool, I get it. And then from that point, as a group, remember to come and go and make a decision. And then from that point, when the decision is made, going to implement it, and whatever adjustments you got to make, going forward from it, do that and everything. And I think that those steps, you can make variances to it here and there, but I think if you follow that blueprint that I just gave you as far as working in a group and the initial set, when I said those items, as far as communicating, working individual with somebody, it'll help you out a lot. Because, again, we have far too many times that people shun others' ideas out because they stuck on listening to it on the surface.
Right.
They don't have a clear understanding of that person's viewpoint. And we lose a lot of times, some of our great ideas or suggestions because we just so stuck on damn ego. So I want really people to kind of, approach communicating in an individual or group setting with an open mind. And also keep that task in hand. I think if you do that, do active listening, paying attention to what's going on, ask questions, get a full understanding. Make sure that person understands what the hell you're saying just as much as, they understand what they're hearing. It's a two-way street, and everything. So I think if you practice that, I think it'll help a lot of people and a lot of situations and groups be a lot further on.
Do you think in a group setting that keeping everyone engaged is also a good thing to do. Make sure they all. I'm gonna give you a good example. The guy that you were saying may be the genius that may know all the answers to everything. He's when you have a person who's domineering, who takes over the whole meeting. The person who may know the answers to the questions that's being asked may not say anything because they are intimidated by that person. So when somebody says, "Well, how do you wire a whole house?" He may wired 55 houses just 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And he may be like, he may get ready to speak, but he's not being engaged enough in it because when he gets ready to talk, somebody else takes over.
Gotcha.
And I guess that goes back to the point of where you saying having somebody conduct the meeting.
Yeah.
Whereas they may see him been saying something. Well, ho. He was about to say something. You know what I'm saying? Keeping everyone engaged to where you could get all facets of ideas from everyone within the group itself. Because if you get buried within, that person may not say anything because he's not having a chance to engage the group itself. Because every time he gets ready to talk, somebody else talks over him.
Yeah. You know what? That's a good question, Lab. But here's the deal. While I look at that, you want everybody to be engaged. You want to have a certain energy level where everybody's on the edge of their seat and ready to talk. But in reality, everybody ain't like that. You got some folks serious as hell. I mean, they might just not even done anything. They don't want to hear no damn jokes. They don't want to hear shit.
Right.
They don't even want to talk. Look, I can't here for this meeting. Let's get this done.
Right.
You got some folks, hey man, what the jokes, what the food? They going out. You got so many different personalities, so it's kind of hit or miss.
Okay.
Because again, we're dealing when we get the groups, we're getting people a lot of times because of their expertise, experience. We're not necessarily getting them all because of their personalities.
Okay.
So with that said, you want people to be engaged, but it can be hit or miss because you don't necessarily might be boring. Just some folks' demeanor, they ain't come for that. Look, I'm here for business.
Okay.
I ain't here to make no damn friends or nothing.
Talk about nothing else but this.
Yeah, and that can happen.
Right.
And you just have to make sure that you can facilitate an environment that's the best you can to kind of get the task done.
Okay.
Because engaging, that's very tough even when you're speaking. Because when you're speaking, what I always try to adjust the speech, because I got to know your audience. If you're dealing with somebody from a lot of technical people, you got to know how to just be more technical. You want folks to be jokes. Some folks a little uptight, try to loosen them up. But you know how far you can go with stuff and everything. You track the little joke. Nobody ain't move. Well, okay, we're going to leave that shit alone. Okay. Go to the next thing. So, you know that. And there, so you can do that gauge. But it's hit or miss.
Okay.
And I think a lot of times we can kind of stay on those lines, but you just try to touch bases with it and everything like that.
Okay.
But so engagement is a good thing, but you might not necessarily be, in a situation where you can do that.
So it don't have to be a focus.
No, it has to be a focus because, again, you don't know that people are going to be receptive to it. But that's a good question, though.
Yeah.
That's a good question 'cause I do think a lot of times people put too much emphasis on that, and it's great to have, but the task and the goal is the most important thing than even by folks having fun. You know what I'm saying? Again, this is Deonte Burden. The show is Changing Lives. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. One thing I want to get, we're kind of winding down the show, but I want to really give this tip out. So I don't want to miss it. I was going to kind of move it over and keep running my mouth for a little bit. The tip I want to go over is renter's insurance. Okay. Last week we talked about the home warranty, but the renter's insurance, a lot of times, theft and fire is like a common occurrence. Not common, but it happens far too often. And when people have that situation, next thing you know, you see the GoFundMe account and all that kind of stuff. And people don't realize how much shit they got in their house until it's gone. Yeah, exactly. And so now you sitting there like, damn, man, ain't got no TV on, lost all this, that, and they ain't trying to recover. And there are products out there that really aren't that expensive that you can have in place but it's just kind of like, sad to say, and we'll talk about this another show, life insurance. You don't need it till you're dead. So again, I really want people to put a focus on, if you are in a situation you're renting or you have things you're renting on, look at getting renter's insurance because it's an affordable product and it could really protect you in something that, you may not ever use it. Just like we spoke on the home warranty.
Right.
But it could be devastating if you don't have it in place.
Right.
And we all remember insurance is to bring us back whole. It's to restore us to a certain point. And when you're going through kind of traumatic things in life, the last damn thing you want to worry about is how get some clothes, somewhere to stay and everything, because you got enough shit going on in your mind. The trauma of getting robbed, the house getting broken into, and also hot stuff getting burned and replacing it is enough. So if you can alleviate that, like I said again, with an affordable product, we're not talking about you got to get, car insurance or anything like that. Get renter's insurance. So again, if you're in a situation you're renting, be an apartment, be in your home or something that you're renting, guys, kind of be a little proactive. Make it a point in 2019. Go get you a renter's insurance policy. Please do that for me. Right now, we're kind of getting ready to wrap up the show, and something that's kind of real near and dear to me, and that's health. A lot of times we take health for granted. We want to get good cars, good clothes, and everything. We take our cars to get serviced all the time. We make sure our house is on point and everything, and we forget about our body, which is probably the most important asset that we own, and really take that shit for granted. And I feel like if you thoughtful enough to get your oil changed every 3,000-4,000 miles, 10,000 miles, get your tires rotating, changed, you can go make sure you go to get your physical. And that's really what I want to make sure that everybody on a yearly basis or twice a year, go get those physicals, especially black men. I want you guys to make sure. Exactly, because we want to be very proactive and not reactive. And you about to say
add those STDs and all those onto the test too. Married or not, just add them on there too.
Absolutely.
I get one every year. I get a physical every October. I just had one. Clean bill of health as far as that concerned. Prostate, all that stuff checked. But that's very important. You are so right.
Yeah, it's very empowering knowing. So when you don't know, when you don't know, you always kind of live in a world of uncertainty, and so you be sitting there playing and trying to do certain things. You really don't know what the hell going on. And you see, and people walk around here every damn day with shit going on. Damn, man, my hip hurting, my back hurting, and all this kind of stuff. Well, man, you might got some shit going on. My chest hurting and all that stuff been hurting. You don't even know if you might be with your back been hurting, you got feeling, certain way, you've been going to the bathroom all the time. You got diabetes. Head hurting, you feel a little lightheaded and all that kind of stuff. You might be right borderline about to have a stroke. And everything. You just constantly taking aspirins and stuff like that and self-medicating yourself. You got all kind of shit going on with you. So, I really want to make that challenge, especially to my men and, you females out there, heart disease is a very common killer in females, especially sisters. I want to make sure that you being active, you're going to get those physicals, staying on top of everything. As blacks, we got too much shit going on just living life.
Right.
So it go back to what I always say, control your controllables. So the most shit you can do on the front end for yourself, we want to make sure we can do that. We got all this stuff going on in the country in terms of healthcare and stuff like that. And a lot of stuff that can be done from a proactive standpoint. Go and visit your doctor. Try to have somewhat of a healthy lifestyle. I ain't saying don't have no damn fun, but I am saying try to be, somewhat healthy. You exercise 3 days a day, 3 times a week. I'm sorry, that's about 3 times a day, but 3 times a week. Try to get a little exercise in. Try to have a decent diet. Have you some fun, enjoy life. Y'all know I like my cigars and I love my liquor and everything. So I'm not saying I have no fun, but I think everybody know that I'm very pro fitness, pro taking care of yourself and everything like that. I'm getting back on track with everything, my weight, but everybody know when I'm on it and everything. And I think by March you'll see, everything be right back where they normally is and stuff. But I really want to make that challenge to everybody. 'Cause I love you guys. I want to make sure all this information that I'm giving to you, putting it to good use and everything. 'Cause shit, I don't want you to be able to communicate no damn grave. I know who the hell gonna listen to your ass.
And I just want to add that exercise can be just walking up the stairs instead of taking the elevator. Exercise, eating right could be baking that chicken instead of frying it. So, when people think of those things, they think of, oh, I got to go to the gym or I got to do this. Not necessarily. Just, walk up the stairs. Walk up 2 flights a day, try 3 flights tomorrow. Walk down the stairs. Don't take the elevator. Walk to the park all the way out in the parking lot instead of right close to the door. Just little things you could do in order to, and I do this every day. I used to go to the gym every day for 2 hours a day, every day. It was like clockwork.
Mm-hmm.
But now I find I don't have time for the gym, so I'll
Mm-hmm.
just park far out in the parking lot, or I'll park up on the highest part of the parking lot and walk from the car to the building, take the stairs up and take the stairs back down,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like that gives me a little exercise. It gets my legs and my blood pumping a little bit, and instead of frying food, I bake it. Stuff like that to just add a better lifestyle.
That's a good point, brother. Because the thing of it is that I think when people look at stuff on the surface, and let's go back to the show we had on Goal Setting. I want you guys to go back to that. What that was last month, beginning.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I have the date. I have to look at it. I think it was 11/16 show.
yeah, pretty. And one thing about it, with everybody, all the shows are labeled in terms of what we discussed on the show, so you can go back to the shows and also have an outline of the shows. But even what I was saying with the goal setting, just getting in shape, make sure it's attainable, incremental. Like Lab just said, we ain't talking about you gotta go ahead and work 3 miles. You can just take one flight this week, another flight, 2 flights next week, and 3 the week after that. Make it incremental. Adjust. You know where you want to be, and just make a incremental plan just to get there and everything. But at the end of the day, excuse me, the task is still the task. We want you guys to make sure you're getting these physicals. We want to make sure you're living a healthy, active lifestyle. Because we can talk all about making this damn money. We can talk about all about saving this money and all that other good stuff.
Yeah.
If your ass ain't dead and ready to spend it, shit, you know.
Get in the bag.
Exactly. Because again, I say it again, the best things in life are free, and that's your health and your family and love and all that kind of stuff. So take care of yourself, guys. I hope we gave a lot of good information out this week in regards to it. We'll have the outline posted probably within the next couple of hours on the show on the stream, the video stream for the show. But please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It's Change Your Lives, hosted by me, Deonte Burden. Please go look at the videos. You got that blue man in the bottom right-hand corner, so please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to it. Again, I am the owner of Majestic Business Services. Go to our website, www.majesticbiz.com, and make sure you go to the calendar, book an appointment for tax preparation. You ready to start a business? You can book a consultant appointment. We got all that stuff ready for you. I was just told that the video for the goal setting was November 29th on there. But you be able, when you go to the if you're subscribed to the channel, you'll be able to scroll down and find it. But that was November 29th. We did the goal setting show. But hey guys, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy that Super Bowl. Be very careful and safe out there with all that traffic. I love you.